Being a marketer's no sweat. You just have to manage dozens of channels, launch hundreds of campaigns, score thousands of leads, and okay, fine, it's a lot of sweat. Unless you have HubSpot's AI-powered marketing tools to help you do all that and more. Get started at HubSpot.com/marketers.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to Eagles Postgame Live. Eagles get the W 37-17. The Eagles are back. We are so back. Joining us, he is Ryan Reese at Philly Sports PSA. What's good, Ryan?
Not much, man. Glad to see Jalen Hurts have himself a perfect second half, honestly.
Literally. And for the first time on Postgame, you know him from Birds of the Round Table and all the amazing writing he does. He is David at PHL Eagle News on X. What's going on, David?
Man, this is a great debut. Probably the most dominating win they've had in a year and a half. So this is going to be a fun one to get into.
Yeah.
Man, quick reaction. Jalen Hurts had a near perfect game. The Eagles were +2 in the turnover game. I don't even know what that means. The defense shut down the Bengals. Hurts was 16 of 20, 236 yards, 0 sacks allowed. They gained nearly 12 yards per pass attempt. The boys were having fun. Vibes are high. Oh, my gosh. I'll throw it to you, Ryan. Just quick reaction to the W.
Yeah, listen, we obviously saw them get a double-digit win over the Giants last week. And a lot of people were like, all right, well, you know what? That's what you should do against the Giants. And, Cincinnati's had a little bit of an up-and-down season, but they still, at the heart of their team, is a very good team. And, yeah, the fact that we were able to win by 20 and really close out the game and again, what was a close first half, they blew them out of the water in the second half and they made the adjustments. And that, I think, the most important thing is seeing the adjustments, seeing them come to fruition and actually work. It was a beautiful thing.
The Bengals scored 7 points in the second half. 7 points, where the Eagles had a touchdown on the first possession, a punt on the second possession, then a field goal. No, wait, I'm looking at the wrong thing. Hold on. I'll go back. David, what was your quick reaction?
It's the most complete game that they've played in a very, very long time, probably a year and a half. You have to go back a long ways to see a game that they have played in this level. And my hope is that Eagles fans just enjoy this one. No talk of the Bengals are not a good team. No talk of Jalen Hurts can't read a defense. Sirianni needs to be fired. For goodness sakes, let us enjoy this one. Let's have a good week of just positive vibes and just build off of this. Because like you said, the way that they went about this today, Fangio especially, because the game started off very poorly. I mean, Joe Burrow was 11 for 12 with 60 yards and a touchdown on that opening drive. They converted 5 consecutive third down conversions, which was not good. And after that, Fangio just deciphered what they were doing and shut it down. And that was the most encouraging part to begin this whole week of talking about this game. That's the biggest takeaway from me.
Yeah, there's elements of this Eagles offense that has finally arrived. There were little doses these last 2 weeks, and I really think, at least I think, we're starting to see this Eagles offense truly kind of find its identity. Here's the stats in the second half. The first series, 8 plays, 70 yards, 4+ minutes. Scored a touchdown. Second possession, 3 plays, 70 yards, 1.5 minutes, touchdown. Then a field goal, then another touchdown, then a field goal. And you look at, David, this is just making me just cry just a little bit. You had a sequence from the Bengals, turnover on downs, an interception, and then a fumble. When was the last time the Eagles defense has had back-to-back back-to-back turnovers on a team that's literally bottom of the league in turnover differential. That makes me just a little
2022.
Is that what it is?
Yeah. That's an amazing stat. Yeah, they just turned this thing right around, and we're going to get into players of the game. So I'm gonna wait to talk about this guy, but I'm excited to speak about him. But I'm gonna wait.
Yeah. Guys, if you're new to the channel, please be sure to subscribe. Please comment your thoughts on the game. We'll be going into everything in depth. We'll start with the offense. But before that, let's go to some comments. We got Tech in the house. What's going on, Tech? Brett Eclipse says the second half was something else. Poor Will Shipley. I was so excited.
I know.
Agreed.
That's tough.
Goes him a dinner.
Yes, for sure. They generated turnovers. Not just that, Dives. They beat a good quarterback. When's the last time the bend don't break defense beat a great quarterback? And I honestly thought the defense, I know there were some struggles on that first series, but like it was literally Joe Burrow and nobody else. Like he was winning that game on his own with his legs and things like that. Joe Burrow was terrific. We'll get into defense. Time for Slay to make way. I fully agree. Isaiah Rodgers with a big batted pass there that led to finally something from CJ Gardner-Johnson. Cooper DeJean has completely transformed this defense. We'll get into Cooper just a little bit. Let's talk Jalen Hurts, 16 of 20, 236 yards, a touchdown. Loved how the Eagles have been getting his legs more involved in the offense. He had 10 carries for 37 yards, 3 touchdowns. I'll throw it to you, David. Let's go reverse. Quick thoughts on Jalen Hurts, and how would you grade him A to F?
He had a hat trick in the run game, which is highly unusual. I don't know how many people played that today on DraftKings or whatever, but you made a motherload if you did. But he got an A. I mean, the running plays that they designed for him were looking like they did 2 years ago. They were intentional. He was running with the purpose, not just scrambling mindlessly out there trying to get another pass off. Everything he did was with intention. His deep ball, I don't know if there's any quarterback in the league who throws that as well as he does. I mean, those passes are beautiful. And when you have two receivers who make almost everything an 80-20 instead of a 50-50 jump ball, you got to take those shots. I mean, the high point in which Devontae Smith went up for that touchdown was just beautiful. That above the rim catch was just amazing. And everything he did in this game, he kept it under control. He didn't throw an interception. No turnovers. You know, it's like that he's finally buying into the system. And I think everybody expected Kellen Moore was going to be here. The offense was going to change day one, but it's been evolving. And more importantly than that, it's been improving. So I'm very impressed with him.
Yeah, we saw the Eagles really utilize the middle of the field today. The explosive elements coming back. I think less is more for Jalen. And when he's using his legs in this offense and using that more so to set up the big plays with the passing attack, that's that 2022 offense we're talking about. Ryan, quick thoughts.
Yeah, listen, I think we saw 2022 Jalen, honestly, in the second half.
Well, Juke was sick. Hold on, I got to get that back.
Yeah, no, he was, he was doing everything right in that second half. And, we even said it at halftime that we want to see this offense kind of get a little more consistency and run the ball. And that's how they started it, this second half with running the ball. And that really opened up their passing game. They got Devontae Smith involved.
Yes.
Slowly but surely. And then they hit him over the top with that beautiful touchdown. So that was really great to see. And again, as you said earlier, when he is running, it is not just him running out of the pocket. It is these nice, beautifully drawn out plays that are really drawn out well for him and seem to be, I feel like they finally found the plays that Jalen likes to run, because I feel like early in the year they were trying to do a little too much and, maybe too much of the option and, just maybe wasn't what Jalen really loved to do. And now they're starting to try and do these plays now. And I feel like it's really starting to work towards his strengths. So yeah, that was really great to see is Jalen utilizing his strengths and being the Jalen that Hurts that I think we all know is in there.
Like for real, like I know a lot of people are like praising AJ Brown. We all saw the single coverage stats. We all saw all that stuff. And AJ Brown is arguably the best wide receiver in the league, period. However, Jalen Hurts' deep ball has generally been extremely good, and no one ever talks about it. This ball to Devontae was outstanding, like David said.
It's perfect. I mean, the fact that he goes up and gets it, it was beautifully placed. And again, the way that Devontae had his man on his back left and was able to kind of jump, and shield and make the pass or make the catch. It was amazing to see, honestly. It really was.
We have a comment from Brett Eclipse. Next Gen Stats had Jalen's touchdown pass the most air yards of his career, 59.3 yards in the air, the longest completion of his career, target separation 0.8 yards, completion probability 21.6%, win probability added 16.5%. That was I nearly blew out my vocal cords after that pass. That was outstanding.
Yeah.
Anybody else have any thoughts on Hurts before we roll on?
No, I mean, this is 3 straight games with 0 turnovers. And
I honestly, the only blemish I can think of is that one pass to Kenny Gainwell on the sideline that should never have happened in the first place.
You're right.
Outside of that, before the 2 weeks before that, 0 turnover worthy plays.
Yeah. You're absolutely right. That was the one play. And honestly, I think he recognized that. And I think since that point, what did I think he threw, like 10 or 11 straight completions?
Straight, I think. Yep.
So that these are all, again, we said it weeks ago that we wanted to start seeing little breadcrumbs of moving towards the right direction. And the first thing we said was have a game without turnovers, and he did that. And then he had another one, and now he's had a third one. And guess what? Those are 3 wins. There is a correlation there. There just is. He is playing smart football, and it's relating to wins.
Yep. Some comments. Fred Johnson played pretty well by Brett Eclipse. At the game, the enthusiasm by the fan base is totally back. Oh man, that stadium looks really cool. By the way, I'm not gonna lie. Like never once in my life thought I want to go to Cincinnati. But there you are. Play call leaving Nolan Smith in coverage against Jamar Chase. We touched on that during the halftime show. Yeah. That's a Vic Fangio staple, the whip. So that's not going anywhere. I think I saw Johnny Page. Oh man, Johnny Page is at the game right now. Yep.
Yeah, that'd be hilarious if he did.
The issue is not with Hurts deep ball; it's with the horizontal ball. Absolutely agreed. Jalen wanted to prove Ryan wrong on Kenny Gainwell.
Yeah. Well, guess what?
Fred Johnson and Jack Stoll gave Hendrickson the Wisconsin blow dryer.
Oh, wow.
All right. Let's roll on to the Eagles rushing attack, which wasn't perfect at times, mostly because of the play calling, not because of the Eagles offensive line and Saquon Barkley and Jalen Hurts. He's a huge part of that rushing attack. But I thought there were times when the Eagles, again, were getting too cute. Just run the freaking ball and third and short. Don't stop. Like at times, especially during the halftime show, I was flipping tables. Third and short, run the ball with Saquon. You got the best running back in the NFL. Then push it on 4th down. It's not that hard. I'll start with you, Ryan. Quick thoughts on Saquon.
Yeah, listen, I agree with you. Everything you kind of just said there. The play calling was a little bit confusing at times. But overall, I thought Saquon was, effective, especially in that second half. He really helped to kind of kill some of that clock on some of those late fourth quarter drives. And I think today it was a nice blending of the run and the pass. And finally, I felt there was some fluidity to this offense, honestly. It felt like run plays were being called at the right time and pass plays were called at the right time. And yes, there were a couple of, plays here and there that a little bit of head scratchers in the first half. The kind of Gainwell pass and maybe some of the run plays, but this run right here by Barkley is just.
What's more impressive, Ryan? The truck stick or jumping over the cameraman? Oh my God!
I think the tiptoe. Yeah. That's actually probably the most one. The leapfrog and the cameraman. Listen. We obviously have an athlete in Saquon, and I feel like we're. Even though we have our tendencies, I feel like we are using him more than maybe we probably normally would, in our run game. So for everybody who still wants to run the ball, yes, I agree with you, but I think we're doing a pretty darn good job so far.
Yeah, David.
I think the big staple from a Nick Sirianni offense is that he throws early to try to get a lead and he runs late. Saquon had 6 carries in the first half. But they came out in the second half on that opening drive, and then they gave the ball to Saquon 7 times, and it resulted in a touchdown drive. They ended up with, I believe it was 161 rushing yards on the day, and they did that with 2 backup offensive linemen. They gave up 0 sacks. I mean, hats off to the OL, hats off to Jeff Stoutland. I mean, he just does it again, and to piggyback on what Ryan said about the efficiency of the play calling, they picked up 13 rushing first downs and 10 passing first downs. So when they needed it, it was there. And that is and then on 4th down, of course, they were 1 for 1 picking it up, but they were doing it more on 3rd down. They even did the old brotherly shove on 3rd down instead of trying a different play, to take it to 4th down. I thought this was a masterclass in game planning. I mean, in the second half, the first half, I think they saw what they needed to change. And for one of the first times in months, they actually made every single adjustment.
Yes. The number that sticks out to me when I look at the running backs, David, is, you look at last week against the Giants, like Saquon was phenomenal. But a big piece of that is a big piece of the Eagles winning that game was behind 3 explosive plays by Saquon Barkley.
Right.
I look at this box score. His longest carry was 19 yards. That's the efficiency. That's the 2022 Eagles offense we're talking about. I don't want to I don't get me wrong. I enjoy the explosive plays, but they were owning the trenches.
Yeah, he turned out 5 a carry. I mean, you can't ask for more than that. I mean, that's a production. That moves the chains. That changed the time of possession in the second half. You're exactly right.
Yep. Brett Eclipse says Saquon is infinitely better at closing out games than Swift.
Yes, sir.
Hurts with an MVP performance. This was vintage 2022 Jalen Hurts today. Just phenomenal. Hurts better than Burrow. Today, I guess number-wise, I think today was just such a leap forward for this Eagles offense in recognizing what Jalen Hurts is and how good he can be in this offense when we're not just relying on 50-50 hero balls down the sideline, when we're moving the ball effectively on the ground, using Jalen Hurts' legs, and then using that to set up the big plays. That is exactly what a Jalen Hurts offense should look like. Shame on the refs for wiping out that Will Shipley touchdown. Fully agree. I'm not complaining at all. No. Am I complaining? I feel like I've been like 90-10, like excited.
Yeah, you've been pretty good.
All right, I just want to make sure because the Trulies are flowing. Hurts is 3-2 against consensus top 4 quarterbacks in Allen, Burrow, Lamar, and Mahomes. Is that right? That's a great stat. I like that. Let's roll on to the wide receivers. I mean, it's got to be for the first time in a while. I don't know. When was the last time the Eagles had 2 wide receivers with 80-plus yards in the box score? Devontae Smith, 6 for 85 yards and a touchdown, the return of Devontae today. And we were talking during the halftime show, Ryan, like, when are we going to see Devontae back? He had an emphatic return in the second half. And A.J. Brown, 5 receptions for 84 yards. I love how they were utilizing him in the middle of the field in the slants. Grant Calcaterra, freaking Calcaterra continues to get more targets than Dallas Goedert when he's healthy on the football field, and it's a statement. It's very clear that Hurts trusts Calcaterra more than Goddard. I don't know why. I don't know. I'll start with you, Ryan. Quick thoughts on the receiving group.
Well, to answer your question, because he knows Calcaterra is actually going to be out on the field, unlike Dallas Goedert.
Yes.
Listen, again, we are carried by A.J. Brown into the second half, and Devontae Smith took over and did his thing. And it seems like, you have one, either it's a whole game, it's a half, it's a quarter, or one will shine and the other one will be kind of behind the scenes, and then they'll flip it. And this is another perfect example of A.J. Brown kind of carrying them in the first half, and then Devontae Smith carrying them in the second half. It was great to see Calcaterra get a couple of nice catches. It was, I wish we would have gotten Saquon a little bit more involved. But overall, I thought this was great. There was a comment earlier about Kenny Gainwell. I'm not really sure you can really say anything about Kenny Gainwell when you don't even have 20 yards total. So I still will be on my Kenny Gainwell hate tour at coming to you live wherever tickets may be sold. So I thought it was good. Second half was amazing.
Did the Browns beat the Ravens?
They did.
What?
They sure did. Jameis Winston, baby. He's unstoppable.
Man, I'm so glad we went against Deshaun Watson and not Jameis Winston.
29-24. I believe it was Jameis Winston threw a touchdown pass to Cedric Tillman with a minute left to win the game.
That's unbelievable, man. I can't wait to watch those highlights. 80% of the people at my work are Ravens fans, so that's gonna be wild. Cooper DeJean is the apple of my eyes. I can't wait to get to that. I almost fainted when Calcaterra blocked on a rushing touchdown. I have the game on here, Marshawn. We'll be doing a post-game show later, but they are winning right now against the Pacers. I've watched 0 of it, so that'll be a fun catch-up. Did the Bucks beat the Falcons? I have no idea. David, thoughts on the receiving group?
Just the efficiency of it. I mean, you look at that. Smitty had 7 targets, hauled in 6 of them. A.J. Brown, 6 targets, hauled in 5 of them. Calcaterra, 3 for 3. And I was going to mention what Q did as well. Calcaterra had a couple nice blocks in this game. It was one for the touchdown, and also in the run game when they were around at the red zone around the 20 after the Tyler Steen penalty pushed him back. He did some pretty good blocking in this game. So he has definitely improved in that role. So yeah, but definitely the takeaway from it is welcome back Devontae Smith. He'd been used to churn the, sidelines there, moving 10 yards, and it was nice to see him finally get an explosive play there because he'd been mainly just churning out first downs, which he is amazingly reliable at. For a little guy, he takes that hit over the middle or on the sideline, holds on to the ball time and time again. He did it in this game as well in the second half.
Yep. Let's roll on to the defense. There were 2 plays in this game where I almost blew out my voice. The one was the touchdown throw to Devontae. The other was this right here on the 4th and 1 stop and the open field tackle by Cooper DeJean on Jamar Chase. That was fantastic. That was one of the best plays of the game that really cemented this win. And really how impactful Cooper DeJean has made this defense. We talked about on our previous shows how Jamar Chase versus Cooper DeJean was going to be a great battle. Jamar Chase, 18th most snaps in the slot this season heading into this week. And what a great tackle. I know he dropped a pick. It could have been an even better day for Cooper DeJean. But Ryan, quick thoughts on the defense. Cooper DeJean, where do you want to take this thing?
Yeah, listen, again, this is the second straight week that I've going to mention the fact that Slay has missed some time and we have not skipped a beat. Listen, I'm just saying, I'm ready whenever you all are.
You know what this reminds? Sorry to interrupt, but you know what this reminds me, Ryan?
What?
You ever Remember the Titans when the quarterback knocks the defensive end like on the ground, and like look at all the people like surrounding Cooper DeJean, like woo!
Yeah.
Go ahead, sorry.
No, but yeah, listen, the young kids are playing, and they played fantastic today, honestly. Quinyon was good. Coop, obviously, stuck it to Chase a few times, which is really great to see. And, it's good to see Rodgers, again, making that great play on Chase, and even CJ for kind of doing the tip drill and making the catch there. And, it was good to see Nakobe get a fumble recovery there. Even Zach Bond opted out, and it was good to see. I think who actually got credit for the sack?
With Dean?
Nah.
Yeah, I thought it was Dean.
It was half and half. Dean got half. Milton got half.
Okay.
No, I thought it was Nolan and Milton.
Oh yeah, Nolan and Milton. You're right. Dean had a QB hit.
Yeah. So they did get half. Again, I thought Nolan Smith again, who was attacking the quarterback. I thought, it's really great to see his improvement. It seems like week to week. Oh my God. We definitely need to get Avonte Maddox and his roommate, Dallas Goedert, and those Wawa Hoagie commercials and boot them about South Dakota or wherever the hell they're from. I'm done with it. Honestly, I'm done with it. I've said it earlier in the season about Dallas Goedert. I think he's super overrated, and it's we're going to regret not trying to get tight end 2 in this past year's draft.
Oh no! We're going Tyler Warren, first round, baby, first round. Tyler Warren.
I'm good with that. Let me tell you, but as long as we follow it up by edge, and edge. We'll be fine.
By the way, I totally blanked. But by the way, Ben Van Sumeren also looked extremely good as a fullback today. I forgot to mention that. I can't wait to go back to those plays. I couldn't find the Saquon highlights. I will have all 22 videos of Saquon, so there will be BBS in there. We have Marshawn saying Bond and Dean are the new TJ and Kaiser. Dodge has always been honking the DJ's horn.
Wow. All right. Not sure how to handle that
one. Coolest white boy in the locker room.
I don't know about that. Don't forget about Ed Reed Blankenship.
CJ GJ is elite, specifically at catching deflected passes. He's not elite this year. Jalen Carter blew up a few plays. Ryan's hurting from investing in Goddard. David, who do you want to talk about? I mean, just real off the top of my head, like Quinyon Mitchell, I thought had a terrific game as well. Like and this is just my like reading of the game. Again, this is very early, but I felt like every time Jamar Chase had Quinyon, they were moving him off of Q. That's how good Quinyon Mitchell is. Quinyon Mitchell is elite, man. Go ahead.
Yeah, absolutely. He would have had his first pick if he could have stayed in bounds, but
I was so close. Yeah. My wife was watching, and I just started laughing, and she's like, "Why are you laughing?" I'm like, "Because he's out of bounds. Like he was so close."
Yeah, I really want him to get one. One of these weeks I'll be right. I pick it every week. One of these weeks I'm bound to be right.
You're like Dives picking Jalen Carter to win player of the game every day. He got it right once, so you will too.
I mean that's why he wasn't a wide receiver, Quentin. But yeah. But the guy to me is Nakobe Dean. Man, he had so many doubters in the last 2 weeks. Last week he had 4 quarterback hits, 2 sacks, 2 TFLs, and everybody said, "Well, it's the Giants." Well, this week he comes back and does much of the same. He has 9 tackles, a TFL, a fumble recovery, a QB hit. I mean, he has been all over the place. And from very early in the game, you could see he was dialed in, man. So I'm very excited with him. And like Marshawn mentioned with you pairing him with Zach Bond, I mean, you really do have something here. And he compared him to TJ Edwards and Kaiser White. I think they could be better. So I'm really excited for where this is heading. And then you got Trotter Jr. waiting in the wings, just watching whenever he's needed to come in.
Waiting.
I mean, They actually have a sneaky good linebacking core for the first time in 20 years. I don't know, man. I mean, I'll pump the brakes a little bit, but but you can't name 3 or 4 better linebackers they've had on the team in the past decade. I mean, this is pretty impressive play out of your linebackers.
I think, yeah. I don't know where to go with that. I'm not that high on the Eagles linebackers just yet. I think more so. And I have been ridiculously critical of Vic Fangio, and I'm still not a believer in this defense, although it did really well today. It's making me look stupid. But I feel like since the bye week, they've really figured out how to utilize Nakobe Dean. And we've seen that getting downhill and getting him attacking. He's looked extremely good there. Ryan, any thoughts?
Yeah. Listen, I'm not as high as David apparently is, because David apparently is very high. But
you knew that all off season. I can't back off of it now. So.
I mean, I get it. But I'd just like to know what you're smoking right now.
Nothing.
That's how high you are.
55
that's how high you are. Listen,
they had half the tackles in this game, man. I mean,
I get it. They, listen. Compared to the shit linebackers we've had, they look
21.
Amazing. I get it. But again, and I'm me. I've been a Nakobe Dean guy for the longest, and I am very happy to see him starting to do stuff. But still, you still have. No, Devin White signed with Houston, did he?
I think so. Yeah.
I don't even remember who he is.
Yeah, exactly.
The new Frank Gore.
Yeah. Well, a lot of people have died on that hill, if you know what I mean. So
I didn't say it.
And isn't it nice seeing 2 linebackers at the top of the tackle total instead of DBs like Slay? He's led this a couple weeks. I mean, this is what you want. This is definitely what you want. 2 linebackers cleaning up.
To be fair, like the Bengals run game is awful. Like it's dog.
Well, I mean, you get rid of Joe Mixon, who's balling out in Houston, and you're left with, don't get me wrong, I do actually like Chase Brown, but Zach Moss is not a starting running back.
I don't remember hearing Trey Hendrickson's name one time in this game. Did anybody else like? I mean, that was a big storyline, Hendrickson versus Fred Johnson, and I know they had 0 sacks allowed. But, like, I don't recall, at least right now, there's a reaction show, anything. So there's that. That's pretty wild. Cam Taylor-Britt, I think, got hurt at one point in the game for the Bengals.
But that's what you don't want to see, your DB leading the team in tackles.
Right.
Yeah.
It's not great.
Brandon Graham had a huge tackle for loss. Was that taken away? I don't remember.
No, they went to 4th down. It was the play right before the DeJean play.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm surprised they didn't give him credit for it.
Nolan Smith. I thought overall the Eagles pass rush was fine. They were getting there. The only thing that pissed me off was like the lane integrity. Like they were just letting Joe Burrow step in the pocket and just get big yards, especially on 3rd downs. I think defensively, there was a lot of frustrations with the 3rd downs. If I go back, at least to start, there was a 3rd and 1, a 3rd and 8, a 3rd and 6, a 3rd and 2, a 3rd and 6, a 3rd and 22, 3rd and 7, 3rd and 8, and 3rd and 6.
Made them all. Yeah.
In the guts of this game, that really pissed me off. And a lot of that was just Joe Burrow being Joe Burrow.
They picked up 10 of 13 3rd downs. I mean, that's a huge stat. That normally would spell a demise here. That would spell a Eagles loss. But
he gave me like Josh Allen vibes when they played the Bills, where he was just great. He was playing great, and to get beat by a quarterback like Joe Burrow's no like elite athlete, right? He's not Josh Allen. You guys know the general NFL more than I do. But anyway, that was inexcusable. But outside of that, like, that's a win for the defense. The fact that I look at that as like Joe Burrow, if it wasn't for Joe Burrow, like this was a totally different game. And when you go back and look at the history of the bend don't break Vic Fangio defense, I mean, this defense has gotten carved up against great quarterbacks, and major credit. We have a comment here. To be fair, the Burrow runs, you don't really expect him to take off, and he's good at throwing to the sidelines quick when the rush is about to get home. Absolutely. Oh my gosh, I'm not going to read that. All right. David will be drug tested by management. Any other takes on the defense before we get into player of the game?
Yeah, one last one. I think they were so good today that if Gesicki did not play in the T. Higgins role, T. Higgins being out was a big loss. But when they moved him because he played a lot of wide receiver too, as opposed to just tight end in this game. They were moving him around. They had him in outside some. And once they figured that out, it was lights out for the Bengals. Once they controlled him, I mean, because at halftime, that was probably the only – I didn't catch y'all's halftime show, but it was the Gesicki show for the Bengals. And once that ended, it was game over. They were not able to move the ball in any other way.
Yeah, I'm excited to look at the second half tape and see what the adjustments were. I don't know what they were off the top of my head. Reed Blankenship played well. The Darius Slay thing is going to be really interesting going forward. He had a big break up there in the end zone on a 50-50 ball. Good aware. I feel like Darius Slay has gotten a little too much hate this season. He's been overall solid. I don't agree that like they didn't skip a beat because I think Slay has been fine. I think the point is like Quinyon Mitchell is ready. Like I honestly think he's ready now for that role.
Yeah. I mean, like you mentioned though, that was a beautiful pass breakup. I mean, he played the ball through the catch, saved a touchdown. I mean, that was a really great play by him.
It was a veteran move to not only realize he was kind of beat there for a sec, but kept with it, kept moving his hands, and eventually got the breakup. So,
all right, let's get to player of the game. Ryan, I'll throw it to you. Who's your player of the game?
I'm going to go Jalen Hurts. Again, he was honestly perfect in the second half there. And, outside of the one play that we kind of have already mentioned ad nauseum, but I thought he was fantastic. Again, he is taking each game by game. And now we have 3 games. That's called a streak, folks, of the no turnovers. Wow. And it's something to keep building on. So keep doing your thing, Jalen. Honestly, I thought that was an MVP second half.
MVP. Speaking of that, Jalen Hurts was 9 of 9, 150 passing yards and 3 touchdowns in the second half. He had 132.5 passer rating today. 0 turnovers. 0 turnovers in 3 straight weeks, man. Awesome. Who's your player of the game, David?
I mean, I would have gone with Hurts as well, but I might as well double down, triple down, and get further drug tested. I am going with Nakobe Dean. He's been injured for a large part of his first 2 seasons, but he is finally healthy. He's playing his best. Fangio, like you mentioned, is utilizing him correctly. You get 9 tackles, a TFL, a QB hit, a fumble recovery. That's a hell of a game from a linebacker. I don't know the last time we can say we had a linebacker end up with that kind of stat line, so I'm giving it to Nakobe Dean today.
Can I do a tie?
No, stop.
I know who it is. Yeah, you should.
If you want to say an alternate mention, that's fine. Put them in the rules every damn time.
They're the same role, though. Let them have it.
Because you know where I'm going. For me, it's Saquon and Jeff Stoutland. I just think the Eagles O-line moved the Bengals defensive line in the second half. And I think that was literally the main ingredient to why this Eagles offense found so much success, setting up the run or using the run and dominating the trenches. The numbers, as we have said on these shows, Birds of the Round Table, Tuesdays at 8 o'clock. What's up? We have said it over and over and over again. The run blocking from this offensive line has been elite. We just don't do enough of it, and we don't do it consistently enough. So I thought Jeff Stoutland, the way this offensive line continues to dominate and Saquon just bullying people. That's what this offense. That needs to be the guts of this offense, bullying other opposing defenses and then setting up the explosive plays, not the other way around. So for me, I'll go Jeff Stoutland because although I thought Saquon was terrific in this one, Jeff Stoutland, man, phenomenal. We have a comment saying Cooper DeJean, that was my second choice. I can't wait to make the all 22 of Cooper DeJean this week. Let's get to our final segment of the night, and that is our Eagles game in 3 words or less. Guys, if you're watching live, please be sure to comment. I'm going to pull up some comments on Twitter. Go check out Eagles Pin Pool on X because there's some comments on there as well. Ryan, what's your Eagles game in 3 words or less?
Hurts, no turnovers.
I like it. I like it a lot. Hurts, no turnovers. What about you, David?
Must start faster.
Love it.
We have some comments on our Twitter page. All Coming Together by Winston Gordon. Fire Nick anyway.
Oh, come on. Come on, Max.
That's terrific. Fire Nick anyway. Finally, some takeaways. Offense was great. Loving BVS FB1. That might be my favorite. That is a terrific one. Feeling like 2022. More of this.
I see what you did there.
Saquad the God. That was fun. Let's effing go. Johnny is happy. Our man Johnny is at the game. Hurts outdueled Burrow and time for Rodgers. Interesting. So those are some comments on X. We have Bright Eclipse chiming in saying sexy ass win. Quentin predicted streak. I love this one too. Baldiana era, baby. They're 3-0 in the Baldiani era.
They are.
MVP Hurts resurrection. Man, those are all great. I don't even know where to go with that. These are hard to do when you're trying to think of something off the top of your head.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I don't even know. I'll tweet it out when I figure it out.
Yeah,
David, let's wrap it up. Final thoughts on the win. Plugs. Time is yours.
My final thought on the game is once the Eagles figure out the first quarter and starting out faster, both defensively and offensively, this team is going to be very, very difficult down the stretch to beat.
Yep. Anything you want to plug, dude? Like any of your written work is amazing.
I wrote a piece this week in regards to Chase and Sidney Brown's ascent to the NFL coming from college and the hardships that they had along the way. It's a rather inspiring story. You can check that out. You can find it at PHL Eagle News. Tomorrow I'll be dropping a observation piece, key observations from the game. But yeah, you can find everything at PHL Eagle News, Philly Sports Network, Metro Philly, whatever. But yeah, you can find it all there.
Nice.
By the way, Jamar Chase's 54 yards today was his second lowest number this season.
That's really impressive.
That's wild. That's wild.
Love it.
Ryan, time's yours.
Yeah, listen, this is 3 straight wins, 3 straight games with no turnovers. We have 2 straight games of double-digit wins. I don't really know what the heck is going on here, but I know that I love it. I want to see more of it. And, I think the Eagles are absolutely trending in the right direction. Now we got some, a little bit of some tougher opponents, coming up. Jacksonville, not one of them, but after Jacksonville. Jacksonville's coming up Sunday. Well, afternoon now that they frickin' changed it. I'm so mad. But if you're coming down to the game, wear your Kelly Green. Come find me in Lot M. We will be putting up the massive tailgate. There's going to be like 30 people plus there. So got plenty of beer and food for everybody. So come on down, and you can follow me right here. Philly Sports PSA. Shoot me a message if you want to know specifics about anything that I do or tailgating, honestly.
And he's boxing Carell Buckhalter during the halftime show, which would be very fun to watch.
I'm fighting all the former backup running backs.
Gainwell next year. Next year's Monday Night Football game.
Oh, I can't wait.
Let's put it all. Guys, thank you everyone for watching. We're wrapping this thing up as we get ready for the Sixers game. Oh, nice block there, by the way, by Maxey at the rim. Anyway, make sure you go check out Eagles Pinpool on X. 7-day-a-week program. There's Eagles shows every single day. Thank you everyone for the comments. They were awesome today, as always. Yep. You can go check out David's work at PHL Eagle News. He is Ryan Reese at Philly Sports PSA. I am Dives, Mr. Crockpot, for David, for Ryan, for myself. Stay awesome, everyone.